To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people.
All right, take a breath with me, because what we just heard is heavy. It's raw. It's the kind of moment that yanks you out of scrolling mode and forces you to sit up straight. The president speaking directly to the camera, a grieving family, a stunned movement, and a country asking itself, yet again, what are we even doing here? Tonight isn't about hot takes. It's about clarity, conviction, and the uncomfortable truth that a shot fired on a college roof in Utah ripples across every kitchen table in America. Let's start with what was said. The president called Charlie Kirk a patriot, a man of faith, a voice for young people. Whether you agreed with Charlie on policy or not, you can't ignore the impact. He packed auditoriums with college kids who could have been anywhere else on a Tuesday night and chose debate instead. He made politics feel like a mission, not a chore. That matters. Say what you want about the guy. Millions listened. And when someone with that kind of reach is silenced in an instant, it doesn't just end a life, it shakes an ecosystem.
He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
Now, the first updates out of Utah paint a grim, murky picture. According to the FBI's initial presser, they're working off security footage. Low quality, dark clothing, potential rooftop shot, longer distance, not much else. That's it. Which tells you two things. One, the shooter knew what they were doing. And two, the investigators are flying through fog. There was even a person of interest detained and later released.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where do you believe the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a fair roof. Potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
Earlier today, he did write the subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. And then he wrote, at 6 p.m. Eastern time, the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Our investigation continues, and we will continue to release information in the interest of transparency.
So we're in this strange space where we have a national wound and a ton of unanswered questions. That's a dangerous combo, because when facts are thin, narratives rush in, and narratives don't just fill space, they recruit. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. You've already seen it online. Some people responded to the news with heartbreak, prayer, and calls for peace. Others popped virtual champagne. Yes, there are people celebrating. Imagine your worst political enemy, the person you think poisons everything they touch. Now imagine you hear they've been assassinated, and your first instinct is a grin and a retweet. That's where we are. Two Americas living on the same map, staring through two totally different windows.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American.
I think people are already saying things they shouldn't be saying. Joe Walsh is a good example of that.
What did you not?
I mean, today, a 31-year-old father of two and a husband is dead. There's really nothing more to say than this is unacceptable and it's wrong. That's number one. I've heard J.B. Pritzker blame Donald Trump today. I don't understand. Our friend is dead, and we've got people out here who just can't stop grinding political axes.
And it's not just disagreement anymore. It's disgust. It's how could anyone like that? It's they got what they deserved. That's not politics. That's rot. Now, some folks want to point fingers instantly. It's the left, it's the right, it's their rhetoric, it's their network, it's their leader. You heard it in the montage of reactions. Some solemn, some self-righteous, some flat out vile.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order.
You even saw a fight over a moment of silence, which is so petty it hurts to think about. Just pause and ask yourself, if we can't agree to bow our heads for 30 seconds after a man is murdered, what exactly can we agree on? We've turned basic decency into a partisan football. And for what? To get 5 extra likes? To feel superior for an afternoon? That said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend messages don't have consequences. Rhetoric matters. Tone matters. When public voices paint their opponents as fascists, Nazis, existential threats to the real America, they light fuses. And yes, that happens on both sides. Don't kid yourself. There are flames everywhere. But two things can be true at once. We can condemn all political violence without qualification, and we can also demand an honest accounting of which fires are burning hottest, where the gas is being poured, and who profits when everyone's hair is on fire. Because somebody always profits. Outrage is a business model. Let's talk about the professional hit theory that's already floating around. Roof, one shot, clean escape, no immediate vehicle identified. If you're picturing a cold operator who mapped angles and timing, you're not alone.
Assassination of Charlie Kirk, to me, is indicative of a professional hit.
Former FBI voices are already saying the same. This didn't look like an impulsive today I snap moment. It looked planned. Could a trained amateur manage it? Maybe. But the more you look at the setting, the crowd, the sightlines, the tent, the distance, the more it feels less like chaos and more like choreography. One shot, one outcome, one nation stunned. That's not proof, it's pattern, and patterns matter. But here's the twist you need to keep in mind. Early narratives are almost always wrong or incomplete. Remember Butler. Remember how the initial stories mutated as real facts landed. Don't carve anything in stone yet. Demand evidence and transparency, not wishful thinking dressed up as certainty. If a suspect is never found, if we get vague pressers and ongoing investigation forever, that's fuel for cynicism we can't afford. If there's real intel, release it. If there are real arrests, say it. In a moment like this, sunlight isn't just disinfectant, it's triage. There's a deeper point here that goes beyond the who and how. What we're watching is a spiritual crisis dressed up as a political one. You heard it in the governor's voice. He begged people to find their better angel. You heard it in the prayers for the family. You heard it in the call to step into your purpose. And I know how that sounds to the cynics. We've built an economy of contempt. We reward dunking, not persuading. We reward humiliation, not humility. We don't just disagree, we dehumanize. And when dehumanization becomes your diet, violence doesn't feel like a glitch, it feels like a feature. So what now? If you were inspired by Charlie's work, if you watched his campus debates, his rallies, his interviews, and you feel gutted tonight, hear me clearly. Do not retreat. Do not collapse into the couch and scroll yourself numb. This is the moment to do the thing he told you to do. Show up, volunteer, knock doors, start a campus chapter, host an event, mentor a kid who's politically curious but intimidated, and yes, pray. Pray not as a last resort, but as a first discipline. Action without prayer burns out. Prayer without action dries up. You need both. And if you weren't a fan of Charlie, if you argued with him in your head every time he opened his mouth, stop and consider this. Nothing he said, nothing you hated justified a bullet. We should be able to debate fiercely, mock mercilessly, and then go get coffee. That's the American promise. That's what makes this place different. We don't settle arguments with gunfire. We settle them with votes, with arguments, with jokes, with better ideas that win over time. If you can't live with that, you're not defending democracy, you're strangling it.
The fact that we asked for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk, and then the Democrats decided at that point in time to try to shout that down. First and foremost, Charlie Kirk is now pronounced deceased. He was murdered. I don't know anything about the suspect yet. I think everyone's waiting to hear that, but that type of rhetoric is the exact type of rhetoric that got him killed. So to be clear, we should have been allowed to pray for Charlie. I would encourage the speaker to go back tomorrow and let us pray on the floor for Charlie Kirk's family now and the rest of the people that have been impacted by this terrible loss.
Congresswoman, you said they caused this.
Most certainly, yes, they did cause it. That type of rhetoric, you calling people fascists, you basically saying that we're Nazis, take away people's rights. Charlie Kirk was literally murdered, and you can see that footage online. And I would encourage people, instead of sharing that, please share pictures of his family and the legacy that he left.
Now, a word on media, because the media cannot wash its hands of this. When a network platform hosts commentary that implies, well, maybe his rhetoric before a victim's body is cold, that's not analysis, that's moral malpractice. And yes, apologies came out. Good, but accountability means more than one Notes app screenshot. It means changing incentives. It means producers choosing not to book the edgy guest who turns tragedy into a talking point. It means anchors who refuse to pump speculation into the bloodstream just to keep viewers angry enough to stay through the ad break. It means remembering there are kids watching, Kirk's kids, your kids, and they're learning what adulthood looks like from us.